In January 2005, a unique probe was launched into space by NASA. Its mission was to find out where water came from on Earth. This probe, named Deep Impact, reaches near a comet after traveling 270 million kilometers. Many such secrets were hidden in this comet, which were being searched for the last many centuries. There is only one place in the entire universe where human beings can live. It seems as if Earth has been made for humans only. All those things are present here which are considered very important for life: water, food, and oxygen. There may or may not be any other such planet in such a vast and giant universe, but at present we only know about Earth, where humans can live without any help. But 5 billion years ago, Earth did not exist at all. At the place where Earth and our solar system are present today. This is the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. When our planet did not exist, there used to be a very large cloud in its place. A cloud that was filled with only soil and gases. What happened to this cloud that it turned into a planet? The same planet where we live today? This cloud of soil and gases is called a molecular cloud. This cloud contained dust particles that included sand, silicon, and particles of various metals. This cloud was created due to various dead stars. In the beginning of the universe, the stars that burned all their fuel exploded, and due to the explosion, their particles spread around the universe. This is not like the cloud seen in the sky, but it looks like something that was captured with the help of the Hubble Space Telescope. Surprisingly, this cloud was as big as 100 light years, which means that if any light starts traveling from one corner of it, it would have to be seen. It will take 100 years to reach the other corner of the molecular cloud. If explained in simple words, this cloud of soil was 60 lakh times bigger than the distance between the Sun and the Earth. This is the cloud from which new stars and planets are formed, and the force that creates stars and planets in this cloud is gravity. Yes, the same gravity that does not exist in space but is generated in space. Two objects in space get attached to each other or attract each other due to their gravity. The object with greater mass will have greater gravity. The particles of the molecular cloud kept getting attached to each other due to this gravity. The bigger particles started attracting smaller particles. These particles started colliding with each other very fast, and due to this, energy was generated which pulled the core of the cloud rotating in a circular motion towards its center. This process continued for millions of years, and the core of the molecular cloud kept growing bigger, started rotating faster, and got hotter, and after a while this huge fireball became our sun. The remaining molecular cloud now started revolving around this sun. The planets of the solar system and the moons revolving around those planets will be formed from the particles and gases present in it, but how it was a mystery, but not anymore. A hypothesis about the formation of a star or sun from a molecular cloud was first presented in 1700 by German philosopher Immanuel Kant and French scholar Pierre Simon, but at that time it was just an idea. After that, between 1920 and 1950, when telescopes started becoming very advanced, it became astronomically it was not possible with the help of scopes. Then between 1970 and 1980, the invention of radio and infrared telescopes solved this problem as well. Now it became possible to look inside these clouds of dust and gases. Astronomically, with the help of scopes, new stars were seen being formed inside molecular clouds. This proved that new stars are born inside molecular clouds, and later planets are formed from the remaining particles of the cloud. But how does this process start? Earlier, many ideas were floated about this, but then in March 2003, an experiment was done in the International Space Station which answered this age-old question. Astronaut Don Petter wanted to experiment with different things present in the ISS to see how these things behave in space. He created water bubbles and placed them inside them. Dissolving and spinning salt in a plastic bag. The purpose of these experiments was something else, but his last experiment answered the age-old question when salt was put in a plastic bag. After some time the salt particles stuck to each other because in space these particles attract each other. Scientists believed that inside the molecular cloud, small and big particles which were all revolving around the sun in the same direction, got connected to each other like this salt, and from here the Formation of planets started about 45 billion years ago, in the molecular cloud also, in the same way, particles started joining together to form a group, just like the salt particles are meeting each other in Don Pettit's experiment when the size of this group increased to 1 kilometer, i.e. the size of a mountain. Then its own gravity became so high that it attracted the surrounding the planet began to attract the particles of dust towards itself, just like a vacuum cleaner sucks dirt into it. This process continued for the next 30 lakh years, and 20 planets emerged from the swarm of dust, all of which were revolving around the sun. Now, because these 20 planets had become very big, their own gravity started attracting each other during their orbit, and eventually they started colliding with each other. In each collision, 2 planets combined to form a bigger planet. With time, due to these collisions, the solar system, which had 20 planets earlier, now had only a few planets left, which included Venus, Mercury, Mars, and our Earth. But this Earth was not so blue and full of life at that time, rather it was very hot like a fire due to the collision. Astronomically, even if the organic arrived, it would have been in seconds. It will evaporate in less than 100 minutes. The chances of life on Earth will emerge only when its temperature falls. But till the time it cools down, it had to face the biggest threat to its existence. Solar storms. Yes, whenever the rays coming from the sun enter a planet, they cause a lot of damage to its atmosphere. The same solar storms come to other planets as well, and due to this, it is not possible for life to grow here. There is no need to go too far. On Mars, which is the neighboring planet of Earth, solar storms have destroyed the chances of life. But the secret of how Earth fought these solar storms is hidden in the core of Earth. When Earth started forming in the molecular cloud, its temperature increased a lot. This temperature made Earth a fireball. The rocks melted and the iron and nickel present in them also melted. Now, because the weight of iron and nickel is very high, when the magnetic field becomes more, it starts falling into the core of the Earth. Geophysicists believe that whenever molten iron is rotated round, it creates a magnetic field around itself. Now, because the quantity of molten iron is more in the core of the Earth, it generates a magnetic field, and the area where this magnetic field has an effect in space is called the magnetosphere. Normally, this magnetic field is present on the side of the Earth which is facing the Sun. It extends up to 370,000 kilometers, i.e. almost as far as the Moon is, and the side which is not facing the Sun, the magnetic field of the Earth spreads for lakhs of kilometers. This is the reason that the magnetic field stops the radiations coming out of the Sun. This magnetic field is less on the north and south poles, so here this radiation enters the atmosphere and combines with the particles and produces the aurora effect, which we also call northern and southern lights. But this radiation is so less that it does not cause any harm. The new Earth, which has faced the solar storms, but still it was not perfect for life. Earth had to go through another difficult phase also, a planet collision. How did we humans come to know about this? We have to go to 1960. America planned many Apollo missions and sent astronauts to the Moon for research. Earlier it was believed that the Moon is a piece of Earth which was not part of any planet. But when the astronauts went to the Moon and brought some samples of rocks from there, these rocks did not look like the rocks found on the Earth. It seems that these rocks were burnt. Further investigation revealed that the oxygen isotopes present in the rocks of the Moon and the Earth are the same, which proves that the Moon was earlier a part of the Earth, but it got very hot. Only one thing can cause such extreme heat, and that is the collision of another planet. When the Earth was slowly cooling down, another planet started moving towards the Earth. This planet was about as big as Mars, and it has been named Theia. When Theia collided with the Earth, a lot of energy was released. The burning pieces of the Earth and Theia spread in the sky and eventually started orbiting the Earth. These pieces orbiting the Earth continued to move in the same way for the next thousands of years. They kept connecting with each other like the particles in a molecular cloud, and thus the Moon was born. Earlier the Moon was very close to the Earth. Experts say that the Moon which we see now was 15 times bigger, but slowly it is moving away from the Earth at the rate of 1.5 inches per year. Let us tell you here that the collision of Theia with the Earth and the birth of the Moon were the two events due to which we are present in this world today. Scientists believe that if these two events had not happened, then perhaps life would never have come on Earth. But how? When the planet of the size of Mars collided with the Earth, it tilted the Earth to one side, tilted it a little. The Earth, which was earlier rotating on its axis, now it tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees, and this tilt gave the Earth different types of weather. As you know that one full rotation of the Earth represents 1 day, and one full revolution around the Sun represents 1 year. Now, because the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, those months of the year when the northern hemisphere is closer to the Sun, it is summer season here, and in winter, this part is farthest from the Sun. Due to this tilt, there is neither uniform heat nor uniform cold on the surface of the Earth throughout the year. Due to these changing seasons, we get to eat different fruits and vegetables, different colors can be seen throughout the year, and due to the cycle of rain in the sun, clean drinking water is available through reverse. Apart from this, sea waves are also formed due to the formation of the moon. These waves provide nutrients to the creatures in the sea, because if these waves were not there, then the nutrients in the sea would remain only at a few spots. But here the question arises that what is the amount of water in the sea? Waves will be formed only when there is water on the Earth, which is most important for life. Then where did the water come from? This has been the biggest mystery for the scientific community. In January 2005, NASA launched a probe named Deep Impact into space. It was sent to a comet named Tempel 1 located 270 million kilometers away. A 350 kilograms copper impactor was attached to this probe, which was to hit Tempel 1. On July 4, 2005, this impactor hit the Tempel 1 comet at a speed of 38,000 km/h and created a very large crater. This impact was captured with the help of radio telescopes installed on the Deep Impact probe, and what this telescope showed really surprised everyone. The light emitted due to the collision was analyzed with the help of spectroscopy, and it was discovered that the impact was very big. That Tempel 1 is filled with water in the form of ice. Now it has been proved that water is present inside the comets present in the asteroid belt far away from the Sun. But how did these comets leave their orbit and come to Earth, and that too in crores? Experts believe that this work can only be done by the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and obviously its gravity is also many times more than that of the Earth, and its special thing is that it orbits very close to the asteroid belt astronomically. Jupiter's gravity converted the orbit into an elliptical orbit. Normal circular orbit is when asteroids revolve around the Sun in a perfect circle, but when Jupiter's gravity attracted them towards itself, they left their circular orbit and went into an oval-shaped orbit, which is called elliptical orbit, and during this time, when they came in the way of the Earth, gravity pulled them towards the Earth. Geologists believe that water was not present on Earth in the beginning, rather it came here 500 million years after the formation of the Earth. But how did we know this? Zircon is a mineral which is found in rocks, and water is very important for its formation, and because it also contains particles of uranium. Due to this, its edge can be found out with the help of radioactive decay. Till now, the edge of all the zircon samples present on Earth has been found out. It happens that they were formed 4 billion years ago, that is, 500 million years after the birth of the Earth from a molecular cloud, the collision of Theia, which is as big as Mars, the tilt of the Earth, and the creation of waves in the ocean due to the Moon, the Earth getting water due to Jupiter, which is millions of kilometers away. The chances of life seem to be improving, to the extent that the temperature of the Earth had fallen to a great extent, to about 100 degrees Celsius, but the most important thing for life, oxygen, was still not present in the Earth. So now you tell me in the comment section that how did oxygen come in the atmosphere of the Earth? I hope you all will like and share this video.